I'm Emily Bullis. I came to Crossroads because of the Bullises. I married one, and now I work here, I attend here, and I'm neighbors with the pastor, so I'm all in. When I was 18, I had a spinal fusion from my collarbone to my waist. So if you're a nurse, that's T2 to L4, which is most of my spinal vertebrae. And I had just found out when I was 17 that I had scoliosis severely enough that I needed the surgery instead of some of the other alternative methods of fixing scoliosis. They also told me that I should be in a lot of pain, and up until then, I thought what I was feeling was normal, because when you feel pain every day, you don't realize it. Does a fish know it's wet sort of situation. So after the surgery, I had just graduated from high school. I had the surgery, 2 months of recovery where I was learning to walk again, kind of baseline, assessing a new normal. After 2 months, I went right to my freshman year of college, miles away from home, left all my support system, my family, my friends were obviously scattered to different universities and stuff, and everything was totally different. So not only was my body different, but my day-to-day was different, my surroundings were different, my food was different. It was a major change, and it took me a long time to realize that they were right. I had been in pain. The pain didn't get better after surgery, it got worse, and I kind of daily had to encounter that situation of being in pain, running into my limitations, my physical limitations, my energy limitations, and eventually accepting that I had a chronic condition, that I would chronically be in pain. And that was a real identity shift for me. It's really hard to learn that you have an inability in some way, and to change the way that you perceive yourself as somebody with a chronic condition. So that was a really hard time, as well as being in college and going through, academic studies and meeting a bunch of new people and having all this new experiences and freedoms, and not being able to necessarily keep up with people physically. Walking was difficult for a long time. I remember physically being really slow, being behind people all the time. But it was this time that I realized that I was going through a lot of spiritual growth. And part of it was being able to encounter a daily problem where I had to see myself differently every day. And to wake up and engage with my physical body, and the situation I was in was different every day, gave me this sense of an opportunity to change my perspective. Every day I got to make the choice. How was I going to react to my situation? How was I going to see God in my situation? I think that that's what dying to self looks like. It's a choice of, am I going to be mad or bitter? Am I going to live for myself? Or am I going to see this as an opportunity to die to self and to say, I want to trust that God has a plan and that this story is already completed in my glorification through Christ. So I didn't give up on a specific dream necessarily, but I feel that I had to grieve what I had perceived my future to be like, what I had imagined, what I had dreamed my future would be like. I had lost the potential future I had envisioned, where I knew my physical capabilities. I had lost a future where I knew what to expect. And I had to really grapple with that every day, and what that was going to look like. And I think that in the end, it was always better to reach out to God and to have Him be the one who knew my future. And that, me imagining a future didn't guarantee anything. But God, being in God's hands, did guarantee everything. We're all called to die to self, to turn our clenched fists into open palms, and to release those things that do not serve us to God. And often the way that we live our lives is the way that we live our days, ultimately. And letting go every day is not easy. And I certainly don't know that I'm good at dying to self, but I have had a lot of opportunities to do it, and I hope that I will get better at it as I continue to see those struggles as opportunities to let go.